Welcome back to the Mesozoic Media Park, the park where we include references to all kinds of movies, shows, documentaries, the works. Last time we did Disney's Dinosaur. We combined the Disney World ride with the actual movie and it created something beautiful. Today, to celebrate the release of dinosaurs like Ostroraptor, I want to do Prehistoric Planet. So I think the main goal right now is to do a Ostroraptor enclosure. Obviously, Ostroraptor shows up in the second season of Prehistoric Planet in a sort of like densely forested area with some water. So we'll try to make an enclosure that kind of references that. Like I just want an enclosure that's relatively densely forested, has some water in it, and then we could put a few Ostroraptors in there with their coloration that sort of matches what we see in the episode. So I'm kind of thinking I want to do something like this, where it's mostly a wall, I guess. I don't know. I want it to look very, this is an enclosure that I want to look very zoo-like, if that makes sense. I mean, I've been doing that with like most of the enclosures here, but I really want this one to feel like you actually went to the zoo. What I could do though, we can utilize a viewing gallery, right? Like this, and then we can build it around this. This is kind of how big I want it to be. A lot of real life enclosures are fairly compact. Like the enclosures are not usually too grand. And while Ostroraptor is a pretty large unilagin, I feel like we could probably get away with something like this. Especially if we only put like one or two in here, maybe a little bit larger. But I need to make sure that I'm not going too crazy with enclosure sizes anyway. I've already kind of started to do that and I need to tone it back a little bit. So I think that this is a decent size right here. What we can do is like a good portion of the enclosure can be made with small fences, I suppose. Then we can just cover it up with trees because I want this to look fairly densely forested. It's not like this is like the most iconic location. Like there's nothing about it that particularly stands out, because it's it's nature, really. So there's really nothing that's we have to do that's too crazy. I think I'm going to change up this viewing gallery though. And then we also, of course, we need some water. So I'm going to plan that out too. Like we can have some water right here, I guess. Maybe not that deep. Some water right there. This will be like a large portion over here. And then water over here, kind of breaking it up. Because in the episode, there's just a ton of Ostroraptors just surrounding a decently large water source. I want that to be really represented here and like that. Kind of like that. I want a log. Like I would like some trees to go across this water right here, as well as some rocks. Like, let's try to clean this up a little bit. Like make it look like it's built onto some rocks instead of some sloped dirt. I think one of my biggest challenges right now is to try to make this look like it was an actual enclosure that was designed. Of course, that's why I've been trying to do that a lot, to be fair, but I don't know. Sometimes I just want it a little bit more. What is this? What on earth are you? Anyway, yeah, just placing down some knocked over trees that they go across that, because I think I remember seeing that in the actual episode. So if we can make that and we can make it look decent, then, things will be good. I just wish some of these could be a little bit larger than how they currently are. I'm just kind of like just placing them wherever too. I like the idea of having one go across like this, like it's a little bit of a bridge. So I'm certainly going to keep that. But I still want like a few here and there that are just kind of randomly knocked about. And the trees that are here are pretty tall. Like they're pretty tall trees. So I don't want to just use, the regular foliage brush. I think I'll have to like place some of them down manually. Unless this look how I want it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that quite looks how I want it to. It almost looks like redwoods in a way. I don't know if that's what that is. That's kind of what it looks like. I could just select redwoods independently, right? Okay. Yeah, this kind of looks like what I'm going for. So I could just put on random rotation and just place a ton of these. Cue the time lapse. Okay. And then there's also a lot of lower foliage, like a lot of ferns and stuff. I don't know why I said it like that. But yeah, there's a lot of that stuff that I could put around here, perhaps. Doesn't quite look how I want it to. There we go. Now we're cooking with fire. Really fill it in and make it look alive, you know? I kind of like it. I kind of like the way that it looks. As far as this fence goes back here, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I thought I could find a way to make it a little bit more hidden. I can also make this forest look a little bit more dense by simply having this back here. So maybe it'll look like give that illusion that you actually got more of a dense forest. Seems to work a bit. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not bad. And I might just do a fence for the full thing, if I'm being honest. I want the fence to go closer to the walkway. That way, if you're just a random person who's visiting the Mesozoic Media Park, you get a chance to actually see Ostroraptor walk by. That's all you really want if you're visiting Mesozoic Media Park, is to see an Ostroraptor. Yeah, I really don't hate it, honestly. I kind of like it. Like, you know, that is the opposite of hate, am I right? I like how it's turning out. I feel like I can also put some more rocks here and there just to try to dress it up a little bit more. When in doubt, just place more rocks. That's what my great grandpappy always said. It's like a nice little compact enclosure. I don't know. I like the way it's turning out. And for those of you who stayed around long enough, we are not just doing Ostroraptor in today's episode. Dinochirus was also added, so we'll go ahead and make a Prehistoric Planet Dinochirus inspired enclosure as well. But I don't think there's really anything else I can add to that. That's kind of what I wanted. So yeah, we'll use that. Let's go and get the Ostroraptors. We'll have 2 of them in here. So the Ostroraptors have more of like a gray coloration, which I guess that's kind of close. They also do have some red patterns. That's kind of close. We'll go ahead and do that. Now, while they bring them over, let's do our Dinochirus. So Dinochirus does have an appearance in Prehistoric Planet. Now, the reason why I wanted to add Dinochirus and the reason why I justified its inclusion is because it's got a relatively easy enclosure. It's literally just chilling in water when we see it in the documentary. So there's not much we really have to do. I can have like some deep water so that it can have a section to swim. Then we can have some shallow water so it has a section where it could just walk around. And the section where it can walk around, that'll probably be where all eyes will be. That's like the swimming portion, and goes into more of a shallow water over here, like that. We also have some new wetland stuff, so we can include some of that. Try to dress it up a little bit, make this really look like a wetland enclosure. In fact, we could probably just make this look a little bit swampy as well. Now, as far as viewing goes, I think we'll just take the boring route and just make it so that you can, you know, exactly like the Ostroraptor, with some fences that look like they're designed for a huge theropod. There we go. See how easy that was. Like for this one, like I said, though, I do really want to take advantage of some of the more wetland tools. So we just might like include more just to really make it scream wetland. We could even get like a little bit of fog, which always looks really cool in an atmospheric sort of way. And we absolutely cannot forget its dead tree that it uses to scratch its back on. And that'll be more in the shallow water, the water that it walks around on. There we go. A nice open Dinochirus enclosure. It's got a lot of places to hide and, you know, a place to swim. And then everybody can look at it. Everybody can watch the beautiful Dinochirus. So glad the Dinochirus is back, by the way. Let's get the Dinochirus in there. So obviously it's got like a base coloration of more black, and it has like a blue head. Like there's hints of blue on the head, which I don't think we can quite pull off in this game. In fact, I mean, like, it's probably the closest I can get to that, but we can have something. Yeah, there we go. We can have like what looks like hints of red on the design, which, you know, that's a reference to the fact there is some blue. Jeez, blue. Blue, stupid Dinochirus, blue, not red. There's some hints of it there. And these won't be the only Prehistoric Planet enclosures we do. I guarantee there's more that I'll think of in the future. Like I would like to recreate the T-Rex versus Quetzalcoatlus one, like how I did in the first season of Mesozoic Media Park. But for now, this is what we'll do. It's nice to have some diverse animals in this, like not just the main creatures that we've been doing over and over again, or that we potentially will be. So first, let's check out the Ostroraptor. How are my Ostroraptors doing? They're in here somewhere. You'll have to trust me. See, I like that. I I like when your animals have a chance to hide, because it's a lot like a real zoo. The Shine Mountain Zoo, for example, it has a tiger enclosure where sometimes you can't even see the tiger. And it has a wolf enclosure where sometimes you can't see the wolves. It's very cool, you know, because they have space. Here they are, though. Such a nice design. I'm so happy with the inclusion of these fellas. They are one of my favorite dinosaurs after all. I have a lot of one of my favorite dinosaurs. I'm sure that many of you have caught on to that by now, but it's true. They're very nice creatures. It's so cool. I don't like, I have hunger turned off, so I don't know if they'll actually, you know, eat. But what I can do is so loud with, there's so many things going on. But what I can do is I can include a fish feeder in there. Like maybe they'll just eat even though they don't have to, just to, you know, just to have something there. A reference to all the fish that they ate in the episode. Look how cool they look. Ah, thank you, Frontier, for adding Ostroraptor. I love Ostroraptor. Look at these guys. Look at he's like, I'm gonna drown you now. Oh, I love it though. I like how the enclosure turned out too. I like how it looks. Now let's see our beautiful Dinochirus. There it is. That is so cool. And yeah, it can walk around. You know, it can walk around in the shallow waters. It could swim in the deep water. The guests can, you know, they can see it basically practically everywhere. It's nice. You know, these enclosures do really remind me of like actual enclosures that you often do find for these types of animals. So yeah, there's 2 more additions to the Mesozoic Media Park. We're really filling it up. I'm going to try to fill up this corner as much as I possibly can before we start expanding. Like, you know, there's some space here that we can use, space out here. I still need to close off the Prehistoric Park section. There's still a lot of work to be done. And then after that's all completed, we'll go ahead and move on and start expanding outward a little bit, which I still do have a lot of space. But I am certainly worried that we will run out of space before we can really tap into the majority of the potential that this park can have. So we're gonna try to be a little bit smart with our enclosure placement. But so far, oh yes, oh, I want to see my favorite animation. Ah, come on, do my favorite animation. Yes, get it. Get it! Yes! It's so cool, man. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one.